SDPB brings South Dakotans together, telling the stories that unite small towns, big ideas, and the people who make our state shine. Good, useful, and full of wonder. SDPB. SDPB shares the voices and experiences of South Dakotans, preserving our stories, our culture, and our sense of place. SDPB. Good, useful, and full of wonder. As South Dakota's public media network, SDPB serves everyone with transparency, integrity, and commitment to open access. Good, useful, and full of wonder. SDPB. SDPB helps shape South Dakota's future by educating, informing, and inspiring the next generation of thinkers, leaders, and creators. SDPB. Good, useful, and full of wonder. SDPB serves South Dakota through an interconnected communication system that is on 24/7, 365. The first place for Amber Alerts, public safety announcements, and EAS messages. SDPB keeps public servants and citizens informed. Good, useful, and full of wonder. SDPB. SDPB brings you closer to your government. With gavel-to-gavel coverage of the South Dakota legislature and in-depth reporting from Pierre. Good, useful, and full of wonder. SDPB. From early learners to lifelong students, SDPB inspires curiosity through trusted educational programs and resources for every stage of life. Good, useful, and full of wonder. SDPB. When South Dakotans need reliable information, SDPB is there providing updates and coverage that keep our communities safe and connected. Good, useful, and full of wonder. SDPB. SDPB celebrates South Dakota's student athletes with live coverage of SDHSAA state championships, sharing the excitement of hometown heroes. SDPB, good, useful, and full of wonder. From choir to debate to theater, SDPB shines a spotlight on South Dakota's talented students through SDHSAA All-State Fine Arts Programming. Good, useful, and full of wonder. SDPB. Every day, SDPB connects South Dakotans with stories that inform, inspire, and bring us together. SDPB, good, useful, and full of wonder. SDPB is your home for fact-based journalism, connecting South Dakotans with news they can trust and stories that matter. Good, useful, and full of wonder. SDPB. From children's programs to in-depth documentaries, SDPB sparks curiosity and lifelong learning in every South Dakotan. SDPB. Good, useful, and full of wonder. SDPB brings South Dakotans together, telling the stories that unite small towns, big ideas, and the people who make our state shine. Good, useful, and full of wonder. SDPB. SDPB shares the voices and experiences of South Dakotans, preserving our stories, our culture, and our sense of place. SDPB, good, useful, and full of wonder. As South Dakota's public media network, SDPB serves everyone with transparency, integrity, and commitment to open access. Good, useful, and full of wonder. SDPB. SDPB helps shape South Dakota's future by educating, informing, and inspiring the next generation of thinkers, leaders, and creators. SDPB. Good, useful, and full of wonder. SDPB serves South Dakota through an interconnected communication system that is on 24/7, 365. The first place for Amber Alerts, public safety announcements, and EAS messages. SDPB keeps public servants and citizens informed. Good, useful, and full of wonder. SDPB. SDPB brings you closer to your government. With gavel-to-gavel coverage of the South Dakota legislature and in-depth reporting from Pierre. Good, useful, and full of wonder. SDPB. From early learners to lifelong students, SDPB inspires curiosity through trusted educational programs and resources for every stage of life. Good, useful, and full of wonder. SDPB. When South Dakotans need reliable information, SDPB is there providing updates and coverage that keep our communities safe and connected. Good, useful, and full of wonder. SDPB. SDPB celebrates South Dakota's student athletes with live coverage of SDHSAA state championships, sharing the excitement of hometown heroes. SDPB. Good, useful, and full of wonder. From choir to debate to theater, SDPB shines a spotlight on South Dakota's talented students through SDHSAA All-State Fine Arts Programming. Good, useful, and full of wonder. SDPB. Every day, SDPB connects South Dakotans with stories that inform, inspire, and bring us together. SDPB, good, useful, and full of wonder. SDPB is your home for fact-based journalism, connecting South Dakotans with news they can trust and stories that matter. Good, useful, and full of wonder. SDPB. From children's programs to in-depth documentaries, SDPB sparks curiosity and lifelong learning in every South Dakotan. SDPB. Good, useful, and full of wonder. SDPB brings South Dakotans together, telling the stories that unite small towns, big ideas, and the people who make our state shine. Good, useful, and full of wonder. SDPB. SDPB shares the voices and experiences of South Dakotans, preserving our stories, our culture, and our sense of place. SDPB. Good, useful, and full of wonder. As South Dakota's public media network, SDPB serves everyone with transparency, integrity, and commitment to open access. Good, useful, and full of wonder. SDPB. SDPB helps shape South Dakota's future by educating, informing, and inspiring the next generation of thinkers, leaders, and creators. SDPB. Good, useful, and full of wonder. SDPB serves South Dakota through an interconnected communication system that is on 24/7, 365. The first place for Amber Alerts, public safety announcements, and EAS messages. SDPB keeps public servants and citizens informed. Good, useful, and full of wonder. SDPB. SDPB brings you closer to your government. With gavel-to-gavel coverage of the South Dakota legislature and in-depth reporting from Pierre. Good, useful, and full of wonder. SDPB. From early learners to lifelong students, SDPB inspires curiosity through trusted educational programs and resources for every stage of life. Good, useful, and full of wonder. SDPB. When South Dakotans need reliable information, SDPB is there providing updates and coverage that keep our communities safe and connected. Good, useful, and full of wonder. SDPB. SDPB celebrates South Dakota's student athletes with live coverage of SDHSAA state championships, sharing the excitement of hometown heroes. SDPB, good, useful, and full of wonder. From choir to debate to theater, SDPB shines a spotlight on South Dakota's talented students through SDHSAA All-State Fine Arts Programming. Good, useful, and full of wonder. SDPB. Every day, SDPB connects South Dakotans with stories that inform, inspire, and bring us together. SDPB, good, useful, and full of wonder. SDPB is your home for fact-based journalism, connecting South Dakotans with news they can trust and stories that matter. Good, useful, and full of wonder. SDPB. From children's programs to in-depth documentaries, SDPB sparks curiosity and lifelong learning in every South Dakotan. SDPB. Good, useful, and full of wonder. SDPB brings South Dakotans together, telling the stories that unite small towns, big ideas, and the people who make our state shine. Good, useful, and full of wonder. SDPB. SDPB shares the voices and experiences of South Dakotans, preserving our stories, our culture, and our sense of place. SDPB, good, useful, and full of wonder. As South Dakota's public media network, SDPB serves everyone with transparency, integrity, and commitment to open access. Good, useful, and full of wonder. SDPB. SDPB helps shape South Dakota's future by educating, informing, and inspiring the next generation of thinkers, leaders, and creators. SDPB. Good, useful, and full of wonder.
All right. Well, good evening, Joint Committee on Appropriations, and those of you that have been around the process know that this time of year gets a little herky-jerky, which is fine, but we always land the plane. So our thought, we just finished meeting with the governor, so we've got some new information. And what we're going to do tonight is we're going to have UJS come up. We want to discuss those two motion sheets that we have. Let's see, that affect the UJS. We will hear it. We'll do what we did this morning. We'll hear it, and then we're going to defer action on everything else until tomorrow morning till 8 o'clock. Because that's when we're till 8 o'clock tomorrow we're going to defer. And then in the afternoon we're going to come back. We're going to have caucus, get some more input on a few items, come back and finish the balance of the items in the afternoon. The Bureau of Finance and Management, Attorney General, Department of Social Services, and the Department of Education, and maybe a little something on the school and public lands. So I appreciate everybody that came tonight, but we got word there's dodgeball, and so, you know, some things you don't want to get in the way of. Okay, so let's get organized here. Okay, UJS staff.
Joey Konopczynski, ORC Fiscal. With respect to UJS, we're looking at a relatively small amount of changes from the governor's office, specifically a decrease in drug and DUI court utilization and a new court services secretary for the Second Circuit. There are a few motion sheets here to run through them quickly. One would be to reduce the general funds for the court services secretary to zero. One involves adding provider inflation. One involves adding authority for the alternative care grant program. And then one more reduces unutilized authority in other funds.
Okay, thank you. And I'm not 100% sure how spun up you are on these items, so that's why we're going to defer action. We're going to go have the sponsors of the motion sheets propose them, and then we'll have more discussion, have you talk about them, and then BFM can weigh in. But at the end of the day, we're going to defer action. So I'm just trying to give everyone a fair opportunity here. So the first one, and I believe that's Representative Jorgensen. Was that? Nope. Who's the court services?
Senator Howard.
Oh, there we go. Senator Howard.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chair. So, yes, so first of all, truly appreciate what you guys do. So this is not in any way, you know, an attack on UJS. So I appreciate everything that you do. However, I do know that you guys have reverted between 1.5 to 1.9 million over the last 10 years. The last 5 years, I think it's averaged 1.9 million in general funds. So, and going back 10 years, these are general funds that are being reverted, averaging 1.5 million. So I'm simply proposing to give them the FTE, but tell them to repurpose some of those general funds that they're reverting and cover the cost with those.
Okay, any further discussion from the committee? Well, welcome. Please introduce yourself and address that issue. Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening. Greg Satazan, State Court Administrator with the Unified Judicial System. Certainly appreciate the chance to address that motion. I just looked at last year, and so certainly we have reverted dollars over the years. We have been an agency that does that. I think that's because we try to be very responsible with the dollars and how we spend them. So last year, just thinking through from our perspective how we viewed this, we had $547,000 left in our personal services piece of that general fund reversion. And so that's primarily made up almost exclusively of vacancy savings or salary salvage. And so if we were 100% funded for all of our positions throughout a fiscal year, we think our current appropriated amount would be about right on where we need to be. Now, obviously, maybe that'll never happen, but I think we've always tried to plan for that could happen and try to be very conservative. I think our probably our larger concern, though, would be the precedent of providing FTE without dollars associated with them, just being concerned about where that would lead. So I guess our position would be if the dollars aren't provided, then we would not ask for the FTE.
Okay, questions? Representative Colbeck.
Thank you. Where is the Second Circuit?
Mr. Chair, a representative of the Second Circuit is Minnehaha and Lincoln counties.
Follow up.
Okay, just to follow up on that there, with the increase of population over there in Minnehaha County and the addition of, the new prison coming in and everything like that, there is, can you explain why that FTE is needed? Thank you.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, thank you for the question. So this is a court services secretary position, primarily driven by the fact that Minnehaha County in next several months is going to be open a new juvenile detention center. And so as they've done that, the current staffing that supports the court services probation officers, secretarial positions are adult and juvenile. And so based on that staffing, we don't feel there's the ability to take a current secretary that's in the courthouse and move them to that off-site location for the new JDC, which will be 100% juvenile focused. And so that's really the rationale of the request is we need another body to staff that position at JDC, which is where all the juvenile probation officers will go. But our juvenile caseload is certainly smaller than our adults, and so we don't feel like we have that capacity to pull them away from the adult caseloads.
Follow up. Did we not just, in the last couple of years, budget for some more judges and lawyers in that particular second district?
Mr. Chair, we have added 2 judges and a staff attorney. I believe that was 2 years ago.
Follow up. At that time, then, did you have to add, court services secretaries, or would this just be a benefit to those people that were hired for those positions?
Yeah, Mr. Chair, so these, the secretarial position will serve that probation staff primarily. And just looking back at the legislature in response to the increase in adult probation has added 7 new probation staff statewide, and most of those went to the Second Circuit, this location. So we've certainly seen growth in staff, but absolutely did not have a corresponding growth with the support to those staff with the administrative positions.
Okay. Questions? Any further questions? Senator Howard, any rebuttal or?
This is somewhat awkward, but it's okay. Yeah, no, I just fall back on the 1.9 million in reversions in the last 5 years. So, and I get it. Maybe last year there was only $500,000 in personnel, PS, personal services. It's late and I'm hungry and I really want to go home, but.
I understand.
So
We
I
agree on
just, I don't mind giving them the FT. As they mentioned, it's not necessarily due to an increase in caseload, it's due to the additional building. And so I don't disagree that they are going to need a secretary in both places. It's just, I do believe they can repurpose some other general funds for this.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Kohler, BFM, have anything to say? No? Okay. We'll move on. As I mentioned, then we have Alternative Care Grant Program. That was Representative Norstrup's going to talk about that relationship to HB 1140. Representative Norstrup.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair. This was on the consent calendar in the Senate and passed out today, so it's headed to the governor. And 1140 does not have a dollar figure in it. It has a policy in it, and the policy basically is a clarification, and the clarification is makes it real clear that one option to the judge in certain situations is to offer the offender the possibility of going to the alternate care program. So I think that if the estimate, which was done by me, was that it will impact about 20 people in a year. And I think of all the people that are eligible for this, and the UJS can talk to this better than I can, is I think it's just going to be a small sliver, possibly less than 1% of the possibilities would fill up the 20% or the 20 new beds that I'm talking about in the motion sheet. So.
Thank you, Representative. I think this is better known as Teen Challenge. Is that correct? So can you talk about the history, the effectiveness of this program, and so on and so forth?
Yep. Mr. Chair, yeah, happy to do that. And I would say when the UJS started this grant program, which was in 2016, I believe, the original appropriation was $200,000, and then it was increased in FY24 to $334. And so the way this works is the UJS is essentially a pass-through. When individuals are sentenced to that program, we reimburse the program $50 a day for room and board for South Dakota residents. And so the program has certainly been in existence. If you look at any of their report and information, while it's called Teen Challenge, it is a program for adult males in Brookings. It's a residential program, faith-based. And so historically, just looking at the numbers, their population, they've had beds, and they really want to fill those beds. And so I think as a result of this, the most recent bill, the idea is that the legislative statement that this is an important consideration for judges to look at, I think is really what the intent is. And will that lead to more people there? Hard for me to estimate. I would estimate that. I would defer to others. There's a couple things that have to change in the system. Typically, when people go to the program, it's the result of a guilty plea and it's a negotiated agreement, and they're willing to go. Because it's a faith-based program, a judge will not sentence them over their objection to that program. And so they have to be willing to go. That means the defense attorney and the prosecutor reach an agreement that the person's eligible, program has to want them, and then it's available. So as a result of the House bill, we'll be part of I think it's fair to call it a publicity campaign to make it clear to judges, here's what this program is. We've already invited the individual that runs the program to speak to our judges at our judges conference in May, and have encouraged him to start to build those same relationship with the state's attorneys and the defense attorneys to really publicize this and make sure people are thinking about that program. And so that's history. If you look at the report, their recidivism rate is very, very good. 14% is the number I have in the top of my head related to that recidivism rate. And there's certainly a lot of interest in the governor's rehabilitation task force exploring more faith-based opportunities. And so I think that certainly fits in. Like I said, we are really a pass-through for the dollars. The program sends us the amount of people that are there a quarterly basis, and we pay that out. The last 2 years, there have been funds remaining in FY24. There was 118,000 left. FY25, $6,000 left, and what we do is we encumber that under the contract we have with them and carry that over to the next year. And that's been our pattern since inception. And so that's a little bit of history. The policy behind this, I think, from the UJS perspective, our position has been that's really for the legislature to declare what the policy is behind this, but we're certainly happy to administer the program, and I can sure try to answer any other questions.
Senator Voida?
Thank you. Okay, so this B11 is wanting to add 365,000 to the program. I believe you just referenced 185,000 that you're carried over this last year. So what are we giving total to this program, and is this 365 actually needed right now?
Yep. Mr. Chair, I'll just clarify the numbers because I probably threw out a lot there. So most recent fiscal year, we were authorized to encumber or to spend $333,334. The program received $267,150, leaving $66,184 that we encumbered to the next year. And so the previous year it was $215,000 that we paid the program, with $118,000 that was encumbered to the previous year. And so there's been carryover through those years. So my really rough math would say we probably are spending $270 during a year between the encumbrances and the expenditures, maybe a little higher than that. Maybe it's closer to 300. I'm terrible at rough math, especially with an esteemed audience staring at me. But we have never spent the entire amount. It's really, I think the challenge is just projecting what the bill is going to do and how much funding they'll have the ability to absorb.
Senator Howard?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I really would like to drill down on that because it does seem to me like we're putting the cart in front of the horse. Do you need this 365,000 today?
Mr. Chair, I guess I would leave that up to others to determine if we need it. We'll administer it if provided. I definitely think with the legislative interest and the entire conversation around rehabilitation that we will see an increase in the utilization, but I'm just not in a great position to predict what that would be.
Okay, any further discussion? Any further comments? Representative Northrup?
Well, we're very optimistic that by absolutely clarifying, and if you look at the bill, 1140, it is crystal clear that this is an option to the judges, and I think with Teen Challenge being out there visiting with the judges, we're going to make this program dramatically increase, and I'd sure hate to have them have more potential clients than there's money in the checking account. So this is a one-time, it's an ongoing, but it's a one-time risk in terms of the fact that it's going to grow dramatically. And the head person at Teen Challenge and myself are very confident that this program is going to take off like a rocket once we explain it. It's a great program, and it's amazingly cost is $50. If you put somebody in prison, it's basically in that $92 to $100 range. So this is more than, less than half price and much more. You're paying less, getting more. It's a no-brainer. So with that, I would ask the committee to support this.
Thank you. Senator Howard?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I've been to Teen Challenge. It is an outstanding program. I am not disagreeing with you that the program is outstanding. It's a reasonable cost. I don't know that we need to give all this as ongoing right now before we even have a clue if this is what is needed. It's like we're just throwing darts in the dark, so I just question this need right now versus waiting and seeing what we actually know that we need and then funding that.
Representative Colbeck?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And I've been to Teen Challenge too, and it is a great program, and I sat with many of those gentlemen that were in that facility, and all they could do was thank God that they were there where they were at and not out on the street where they probably would have been, or in a prison wall. I tell you, it was a heck of a program. But I just want to remind some people here in this committee, and also that people that are listening, a lot of times when we have to vote on something or we appropriate some money, we appropriate it not knowing what the outcome will be. We appropriate it with a vision. And I see this as an appropriation for a vision. And I really think that if we do a little bit more, letting the judges know what the opportunity is that they have there, and we have that money there, that you'll see this program expand tremendously. And I think that this is one thing that we should do, because like I'll repeat myself, we vote on a vision. We don't necessarily always know what the immediate outcome is going to be for the money that we do appropriate, but I would think that this would be a good one to appropriate for. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any further discussion or questions? As I mentioned, we'll defer this till tomorrow. I think I asked you, Mr. Kohler, don't have anything. So that's what we're going to do, is defer the balance of the budget setting for tomorrow morning. I would like to ask everybody to be here at 7:45. We've got some housekeeping to take care of. And then at our meeting with the governor, we did get a green light from the executive branch and the Senate that we're landing on 1.4%. And so we're going to tell the world that, and all the budget setting for tomorrow is set at that number. So I want to thank you for all your hard work to get to that number. We really appreciate it. Is there anything else for the good of the cause?
I move we adjourn.
Okay, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? See you in the morning. Thank you very much.
SDPB brings you closer to your government. With gavel-to-gavel coverage of the South Dakota legislature and in-depth reporting from Pierre. Good, useful, and full of wonder. SDPB.